Welcome to practice. This is a short little sequence which is meant to help you to unwind, to release tension, or just to soften after a long day or before going to bed. We start laying down. And you may have a block handy for later on. We don't need it right now. So place the feet on the outer edges of your mat. Sit nice and tall. Lift your heart and then roll back down onto elbows first, maybe scooping the tail slightly forward and then laying down completely. Scooping the shoulders slightly towards one another. Keep the palms open. And now let the inner knees come together and touch gently. And you may close your eyes just for a moment to arrive here fully. And have a couple of solid, good breaths. Find your own rhythm. And allow yourself to release whatever you have been doing so far. Just let it go. And let it go with the exhales. Widen the gap between your in and exhale. Feel the pulse at the end of each inhale and each exhale, the kumbhakas. Feel the rise and the fall of your front line with each inhale. The gentle letting go with each exhale. Softly blink your eyes open. And then bring your feet into hip widths. The feet are moving closer towards your hips. Knees are having hip width as well. And we are moving into some gentle hip lifts into bridge poses. So this means we're going to flatten the lumbar spine, rolling the tail towards your knee creases, and lift your pelvis up. With a long exhale, roll your spine down, segment by segment. Sacrum is touching down, and finally you point your tail down, so it means you're going to find this gentle arch within your lowest part of the spine. And then again, flatten your lower spine, lift your tail, and rising high. Moving onto your shoulders, lifting the chest, pressing into the face. And with a long exhale, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling back down onto the earth. Finally, the tail is pointing down, and you recreate this arch. Inhale, one more. Scooping the tail up into your knee, towards your knee creases by lifting and rolling onto your shoulder. Take the exhale to roll down. Feel the slow motion movement. And within the next one, we are taking the arms overhead by rising the hips. Reaching your palms, backs of your hands down and lifting your hips even higher. And Come on, roll back down and take the arms with you. One more like this. Tilting your pelvis to reach up. Arms over heart. Roll onto shoulders. And take it all the way down. Within the next one, we are taking this into a little twist. So, scooping the tail in, lifting high, and now we are just reaching up with the left arm, rolling onto the right shoulder, and reaching over towards your right. And now moving left shoulder back, down onto the mat, and let the hips sink down. Take this towards the other side. Scoop the navel, scoop the tail towards your knee creases, lift the pelvis, and then reach into the diagonal. Roll onto your left shoulder, and take it back. Release the hips back down, release the arm back. One more round like this. Inhale, lift the pelvis. Roll onto your right shoulder, reach the left arm over. Come back to center. Release. One more towards with the right arm, lift the pelvis. Roll over to your left and reach your right palm over. And down. Roll back down. Stepping the feet slightly out. Rolling the lumbar spine down into the mat. And just feel the difference. And on, stepping the left foot closer in again, lifting the right leg, and coming into a half pigeon here. Lifting your left leg. And we have another variation here. So with the left palm today is holding the outer edge of the right foot. And the right one is pressing your right knee slightly out. I know most of you are used to get a grip around shin bones or around thigh, but try this version for today. And before we feel the stretch, we lift the gaze and see whether the pelvis has to be corrected. So the left one would love to go out. Try to bring it back into center and hold it there. And then press your right palm into your right inner knee and see how much you can go into your right outer hip, right glute, back of the hamstring, side on the right. Keep both feet flexed for the sake of your knees. And maybe playing with this left one to come closer in. And have a couple good breaths here. You may close your eyes if this helps to release. Shoulders melting into the mat. The lumbar spine is safely placed down. And then release the left foot, step it back down, and take the right knee out into half happy baby. So get hold of your shin bone on the right, of your ankle, or the outer edge of your right foot, whatever is accessible. And then the right knee is melting into your right outer shoulder. You may keep this left leg rounded or extend the left leg, whatever makes sense here. And feel this opening sensation probably on your right and on your left side. Couple deep in and exhales here. You may find some gentle movements. Or staying in stillness. Rebend the left leg, step the left foot down, and now start rolling over towards your left outer hip. See what's going on here. Rolling over your lowest part of the spine and moving a bit from side to side. Feel the release for your lower part of the spine. Coming back to center. Releasing the right knee. I'm taking the left one in, changing sides. Flexing the left foot. I'm stepping over your right thigh, lifting the right one, and flexing the right one as well. Getting your right palm around your left outer edge of the left foot, and the left palm is on the inside. Lift your gaze once again. Maybe you have to shift your pelvis slightly to feel aligned. And then lay back down and see what's going on the left side. How much you can get your right thigh engaged and pull the knee closer. And how much you can push the left knee out. Couple deep breaths. Soften around your left outer hip, left outer thigh. These muscles are often so tight if we are sitting too much. Stay for another 2 rounds of breath. And now step the right foot back down. Open the left knee to the side and get hold of your calf or your chin, your ankle, or get your outer edge of the left foot. The knee is moving into your outer shoulder, and you can keep the right foot grounded or you extend the right leg, whatever feels good here. Feel your lower back grounding and rooting down. Shoulders are melting into your mat. Maybe having micro movements within your left leg. Another deep breath here. Stay for the exhale. And now we are moving into the bigger parts and rolling over. Maybe you put the right foot back down on the earth and see how far you can roll over towards your right outer hip. It should feel like a release for your lumbar spine, back side of your pelvis. And then come back to center. Bring both knees in. into your chest first. Get hold of your inner ankles. Press the inner thighs out. Lengthen the spine. Come on. Get hold of your thighs from behind and roll back and forth. Before we come into an open butterfly, so the sit bones are rooting down. Find a seat. Have the feet, have a distance in between your feet. Find a forward fold. See what works here. You may get your arms from beneath, if this helps, or you keep your arms on top of your legs. You may use your block, by the way, to support your forehead, for instance, and round your spine here. Scoop the navel slightly up below your ribs, maybe having the block a little bit lower, and see how you can release within this forward fold. Stretching the spine from crown all the way up towards, all the way down towards your tail. And by scooping the navel in, you feel more of this stretching and rounding sensation, especially in your lower spine. You may also lift internally, lift your pubic bone towards your navel, and your navel below your solar plexus, and it's getting even further into this rounding and stretching sensation. Open your eyes again if you've had them closed within this forward fold, and release. Take the block away and come onto your knees. A little bit further into your back, onto the mat, into your back. And we are having a, which is a fun movement. We're going to move the knees around one another. So we start bringing the right knee in front of the left. So it's kind of a preparation for Gomukhasana. You'll have done this before. And move your hips a little. So you're probably lifting your front knee, doesn't matter, and rock and circle your hips from side to side. And then you move forward, climb onto fingertips, and take the left one all the way in front of the right. To do the same again. So moving your hips, and having probably a lot of sensations around your outer hips. Before you come back onto fingertips, and take the right one again in front. So it's a moving hip meditation. See how it feels. Climbing on fingertips, and it's again the left one, which is coming in front. Maybe you feel it's already getting a little bit easier. It's easier to unwind in the outer hips the more you move forward. Climb on fingertips again, and it's the right one coming forward. We are nearly at the top, so and again. Release the stiffness. We are taking the left one forward. And again, move the hips. It's a juicy movement, isn't it? So good for your hip mobility. And then climb onto fingertips again. take the right one over, and this time we set up for Gomukhasana. So open the feet as much as you have to. Use a block if this helps to get your seat completely grounded, and the knees over one another. Sit nice and tall and get hold of your feet. The feet are flexed again for the sake of your knees, and pull your chest through with the help of your grip, sitting nice and tall. And soften into your hips with the exhales. Having a huge in-breath. Open the mouth to sigh it out and let go. And then climbing on fingertips, rolling over your knees. And just once again, taking the left one in front to find this Gomukhasana again. So feet are open, maybe the block is helpful. Sit nice and tall. Flex the feet, get hold of your feet. And allow yourself to soften into your outer hips, outer thighs, butt cheeks, and your sit bones. Pull your chest through. And then slowly roll over your knees. Get the left one away from your right and find a straddle here. So we are open into the legs. See how far you can move your heels away from your groins. See that the kneecaps are lifting up, the toes are lifting up as well. And sometimes it depends on the structure of your pelvis. Sometimes it helps to have a towel underneath the back of your hips to lift a little bit, just to allow the pelvis to tilt easier. And then see how much you can walk yourself forward. Try to press the backs of your thighs down, toes are lifted. And then walk yourself down onto forearms. Probably a lot of you can fold down completely. I can't do this actually because then I'm completely sanded. And see how much of the back line you can put down on your mat. Extend, feel the stretch, and extend your spine by that. And release. Bring the left knee in. Take the left knee into your back. Sit bones are grounded on both sides if possible. And you lean over your right. You may get hold of your foot. You may use a block even if to extend this more fully, whatever helps here. To bring the navel and the sternum over this right thigh. And then take the left hand onto your left knee, left thigh, and roll or push the thigh out, the knee out. Bring the right arm in front of your right thigh, right knee, If you can't reach this, please help yourself with a block again. Push the left one away and find this side opening. You may get hold of the foot. You may extend the left arm up. Bring it behind your head. Use the right one as an helping tool to move into your right leg for support and help maybe getting overhead and finding this lengthening sensation for your left. If this is not accessible today, you may stay here as well and just push the left one away from you. Rise back up. Fold into the center again. So in one line with your pubic bone, move forward. And release. Get hold of your left ankle to straighten this left leg out again. Sitting tall here. Before you bend into the right one, and get the right one into your back, the right foot towards your right outer hip. Open the knees at least into 90-degree angle. And then roll away from your right thigh over your left. And see what's possible here. Feel this lengthening sensation on the back line of your left. Take the right palm onto your right knee, right thigh. Push this slightly away from you. And then get the left one towards the inside. Again, use the block as a helping tool. And see how much you can bring your left shoulder towards your inner left leg. Maybe you may stay here. You may lift the arm up. Open the chest, taking the right palm behind your scalp. Or take it all the way over, get hold of the outer edge of the foot, and find this uplifting sensation, this rolling sensation. Maybe it's easier to stay here, whatever serves you. Roll over into your middle again, into the center line. And then rise back up. Get hold of your right ankle to help the leg to stretch out wide. Once again, extend into your legs and maybe feel more of your back lines touching down right now. Rising high. Bringing both feet in. Turn towards the front of your mat. The feet are rooting down, and now we are needing the block as a helping tool. Lower down again. Bring the arms overhead, stretch long. And then bring the feet closer towards your hip. We are coming into bridge, but a passive one again. So we use the block, and you have your feet so close that you can easily touch your heels. And then you roll your tail towards your knee creases again to lift your pelvis. And you may choose the level of your block or book if your no block is handy. You may use the first one, you may use the second one, or you may use the tallest version. If you are pretty tall or taller than I am, you probably need a second block from underneath before you feel something as a reclining and it's a reclining posture. So, and here you may close your eyes and allow the block or your support you have been choosing to carry the heaviness, the pelvis of the hips. Feel this uplifting and rising sensation within your heart and chest. The heart or chest is moving towards your chin, so there is still a gap in between chest and chin. You are not scooping your chin into your throat. This is counterproductive. Release the shoulders down, the upper arms down. See how much weight you can release into the block. Feel this lengthening sensation on your front line, hip flexors, thighs, quads, front line of your spine. One more round of breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then rising and lifting your hips even higher so you can release the block from underneath and roll down as slowly as possible, segment by segment. Till you flatten your spine completely, and then rising your legs high on top of your hips, flexing the feet or pointing the toes, whatever, but being active within your feet. If you are pretty close to a wall, you may put your legs up a wall for Viparita Karani, or you may keep it like this. If you use the wall, it's a bit easier if we keep the legs lifted like this, you have to engage your abdominals. Last round of breaths here. Long exhale. And then bend the knees. Get the right leg up top. We have been here earlier. Again, Gomukhasana legs. Get hold of your chin box, your ankles, all the outer edges of your feet, whatever is possible. And then release your shoulders down your back. So the release of your shoulders is more important than your grip. If you have to go around your chin bones to release the shoulders, please do so. Lengthen the spine. Keep the feet flexed again. And see how much you can bend your elbows to pull the feet closer. And slowly release the grip. We're going to move into a twist from here. So we are hopping the pelvis slightly to the right and let the knees fall over to the left. Sometimes it helps here, if the block is still available, to place the block just below your knees. Roll the right shoulder down your back. Sometimes you have to lift your shoulder girdle a little and wiggle so you really feel your right shoulder grounding. And then you push your right hip away from your right armpit. Scoop the chin slightly into your chest. And have a couple deep breaths here. Feel the movement of your breaths in your belly. Engage the navel while exhaling. Last breath here, deep in breath. And now slowly unwind, take the right knee up, the left one is following. Pop the pelvis back into your center and take the left one over the right for the Gomukhasana legs on the other side. So get hold of your legs wherever it is meant to be. Release the spine completely down, shoulders, and see how much you can pull your feet towards your outer hips, while the elbows may have a tiny bit of a bend. One more breath here. Release the grip. Up the pelvis slightly to your left. Last spinal twist here. Wiggle your shoulders so the left one is rooting down. Maybe using your block again on the other side for the knees. Deep belly breaths. Last one. And now slowly unwind the legs on the side already. The left one is coming back first. Popping the pelvis back into your center. Scooping the shoulders on the knees. The palms stay open and you're extending one leg at a time for your final destination of Shavasana. And while you are releasing in Shavasana, closing the eyes, I'm having a little text for you from Melody BT. I'm going to read this. While you are releasing and allowing the body to soften, and this little text is about gratitude. Melody BT. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of love. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, and a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past brings peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. You may stay as long as possible within your Shavasana. I'm very grateful for you being here today, joining me for this practice. Namaste.